Okay.
And we're live. Hello,
Yeah.
hello. Hi, everyone. Welcome to another VanHack webinar. My name is Ilya, and today I'm really excited to be joined by Sarah. Sarah Chima, right? Chima, um, who's just relocated to Sweden and working as a developer for a Swedish fintech company. Before we get into it, though, let's always start with the sound check. So, can everyone hear us? Miriam, Marcella, Shipla, Iona, Stephanie, welcome. Can you hear us? Is it working? Just a little bit of a sound check to make sure that we're able to work. So test 1, 2. Someone can just write in the chat, or if you can say yes in the chat, that'd be awesome. Okay, thanks, Courtney. Thanks, then, Chileno, Iona. Thank you. Okay, great, Sarah. Well, welcome. Congratulations on getting hired. Yeah, just before we get into your background, like, how are you doing? How are you feeling? How's life?
I'm very well. I'm very fine, and life has been very great. Yeah.
Cool, great. Well, let's hear all about your journey. Let's start at the beginning. Just tell us a little bit about who you are. You know, where you're from, your professional experience. Yeah, tell us about yourself as the the first question always.
Okay. Yeah. I'm Sarah. I'm a software developer with over 4 years of experience. I'm from Nigeria. So I started out as a front-end developer some years ago, but I fully transitioned into full stack development, and I am currently working for a fintech company here in Sweden called Anything. Thanks to VanHack for this, because they're the ones that helped me to get here. Apart from coding, I love writing technical articles on my blog and on Free Code Camp, and I'm also a mentor for Udacity for their React and JavaScript nano degrees. I think that's a little bit about.
That's awesome. So you've like been 4 years experience helping people, training. That's
Yeah.
great. What's your favorite programming language? Do you have one?
I think the first one I learned is JavaScript. So that's always like one of my favorite languages. But then I always see languages as a tool so depending on what is needed for a project, then I can switch to any language or learn the language.
Nice. And then how did you what made you want to get into like software? Did you just kind of?
Okay, yeah. So I learned programming while I was still in the university. So we had a course we took on programming, and I loved it then, and I did well. But my course was electronic engineering, so I didn't really get to continue so much in software development until after when I graduated. So after graduating, I decided to go fully into programming, and a friend sent me a link to Free Code Camp. That's where I started learning. Then eventually I got into an internship with a remote internship with a company in Nigeria, and that's how I eventually went on to work for them, and that's how my software engineering journey started.
Very cool. Yeah, so it's great how you can just kind of learn and there's so much out there, right? So
yeah.
That's great. Cool. Well, let's talk about what made you kind of start this have this idea of wanting to work abroad. Where did that come from, and then how was your experience before you met VanHack?
I think I've always had that in mind of moving abroad to get a different experience from what I'm used to in Nigeria. So I think right from time that's always been a goal. Like in the first company I worked for, I had a lot of friends that moved abroad, and they'll be when they move, they tell us, it's better, it's a different experience. You learn a lot here, you meet different people, you get the texting is different here. You get to grow even more out here. So I think having so many friends trying to move abroad was one thing that motivated me or gave me the idea, I can move abroad too with my skills. So I think that's where the whole idea of moving abroad came from.
Yeah. Cool. And how was your experience before VanHack? Like, you had the idea, but what were you doing for that? How was it going?
I think I was basically just looking at LinkedIn and applying to companies, or maybe Stack Overflow, like companies that offer relocation, and I'll apply to them. And most times I get a lot of rejections because, yeah, so it was basically just scouting the internet for job opportunities in other countries. And
yeah, and didn't work.
yeah, obviously it didn't work.
Cool. So how did you find out about VanHack, and how was how was your experience with VanHack?
Yeah, I think back in 2018, a friend of mine talked about VanHack because there was this hiring event for women then. But I wasn't qualified then because I didn't have the number of years of experience that was required to apply for it. So I just knew that there was I knew about it, and I think I joined then, but I didn't really have any active profile then. It was just something I just signed up for and left it there for a very long while. Yeah, until I think I decided to go fully into filling out my profile early this year. But, yeah.
Cool. And then, so you got hired at a hiring fair, right? So, how was that experience? You joined the event, and there was a speed interviews. Can you tell us a little bit about that?
Yeah, it was a really great experience. So I think the same thing happened. At some point early this year, I was more active on the Slack channel, for VanHack. So I used to go there regularly to look at jobs or look for jobs, look at recent new job openings and trying to apply. So I saw I learned about the hiring event for women there, and a friend also sent me a link to it. So I decided to apply. So it was a very, very great experience, the whole hiring event, because I got to meet a lot of companies that normally on normal day, I don't think any of the companies I got to talk with their recruiters. I've ever come across them before. And these are companies in Canada and Sweden. So it was really, really great that I had the opportunity to meet with a lot of people, a lot of recruiters in a short time. It was really good to know that there are companies out there that are looking for my skills, and just that I didn't really know about them, and there was no connection to this company. So I'm really, really happy that I attended that hiring event, because that's what's helped me to get the job that I have right now.
Nice, that's cool. So do you remember like maybe how many connections or conversations you had? Did you go for all 3 days or just the first day, right?
Yeah, the first day. I just attended the first day. I think I talked to about 8 companies.
Nice.
Recruiters that day. Yeah, I think about
That's
8.
Cool. Yeah, it's like 8 mini interviews, right? Like 8 little quick interviews.
Yeah.
That's sweet. And then how, like, was it just the one that you got hired at that went to the next step, or did you have other interviews as well?
Yeah, I had I think after the event, about 3 recruiters reached out to me from different companies. But
nice.
I was actively going through 2 at the same time. So one, I didn't make it past a particular stage of the interview, but I got hired. This one, like I was able to complete the interview process for this anything which I'm working with right now. Mm-hmm. Then eventually another one reached out to me towards the end of my interview with anything, the interview process. So I couldn't really continue with them because I had already gotten an offer.
Nice. It's a nice thing to say, thanks but no thanks. Cool. Yeah. Well, let's talk about the interview, that ended up getting, you got hired at. What was the process there? So you met the company at the event, and then you had what was the next step? The second, actually, you know what? Before we go there, how was that conversation? Because you have that 5-minute chat, right? How was that? What did you talk about? What questions did he ask you? What was that like? And then the next steps, please.
Yeah, it was I think the different companies actually had different questions, but they were mostly non-technical questions because it was very short time, and they were just trying to get to know if I'm a fit for their company. So it was more about my experience, what I've worked with, projects I've worked on. I think it was basically more trying to get to know me. Then some actually spent more time trying to like pitch their company to me, telling me what their vision, their goals, and what they're trying to achieve. So it was a very short time, and some were very brief. Some just wanted to know, oh, do you have the skills we need? And they just go, and that was the end. But there are some that spent more time trying to tell me more about their experience, giving me an opportunity to ask them questions. So that was how I can't really remember all the questions they asked, but it was more non-technical questions and more about me introducing myself and telling them about my experience. Yeah,
that's cool. That's cool. So it was almost like the reverse. It wasn't just you pitching them; they actually pitched you.
Yes, they actually did. Yeah,
that's awesome. Cool. Well, how was the next step then? Like you talked to the recruiter from the company you got hired at, and then what was the next step? Was it a technical interview or?
Yeah. So the next step was actually another call with the recruiter. Like it was a much longer call, like about 1 hour or so. So it was more about she was a non-technical recruiter. So it was more about trying to find out if I'm a fit for their company before starting the whole technical interview process. So after that, I moved on to the next stage, which was a logical test. I think it's a common thing with Swedish companies to give a logical test. I was able to get the score that was required, above the score that was required at the pass mark. So after that, the recruiter sent me a take-home project, which was really great because I think take-home projects are like a blank check given to us. So I tried to do my best, did the best I could do within the time I had and sent it back to them. Fortunately, they moved me to the next steps. I met with 2 developers where I discussed the project in detail with them. So
Sarah, sorry to interrupt you, Sarah. Let's talk more about this project. You said you did your best. Can we talk a little bit about that? What does that mean? Like, how many hours did you spend? Let's get a little more details.
Yeah, I had a full-time job, so I was limited by the number of hours I had. So I was basically working evenings, and I was basically working on it after work. I had a little baby. I had limited time, super limited time. So sometimes I had to work. I don't know. I can't really calculate how many hours I spent, but I knew I had to work late into the night to complete the project. I wanted to do my best. I wanted to make it stand out. So even in addition to the project I did, I also sent a documentation of everything, like the thought process that went into the project. It was. If you want me to talk about technical details of the project,
yeah, let's get technical. Even I won't understand what you're talking about, but I think the people on the webinar will. So,
okay, so it was a currency converting website. So it was basically converting all the currencies in the world to the Swedish currency, which is kronas. So the most challenging part of it was that the API I was given specific APIs to use. And APIs I was given had limitations, like they were limited in the number of requests. The rate limit was very low. So there were very few requests I could make. So I had to really think through the whole process because that was the actual challenge, not the UI or the API, but thinking through the process of making it work with the limitation of the API. So I eventually thought of, I actually designed in such a way that I didn't have to make so many requests to the API, since these values don't change often because they are currencies. They don't change often. So I use the cache, save the values, then did most of the processing on my server, so that the user, when requests are made, they don't get to eat the API so much. So I think even when I discussed the project with the developer, which is my colleague right now, He was like that he loved the way I designed the project, that I worked with the limitation that was given to me, and it worked well. So yeah, so it was it was a GraphQL. I had to I've never worked with GraphQL before that, so I had to really learn GraphQL then. Then a Node.js server, GraphQL, Node.js, then React front end.
Yeah, interesting. So I think I get the the basics, but hopefully everyone on the webinar can understand better. That's cool. But I think the point there is that you really took your time. You didn't just kind of do like, okay, I'm gonna take 20 minutes on this. You really put in effort and energy, and it pays off, right? So that's great. And how was the rest of the process? Like, what happened after the technical discussion?
Yes, after a technical discussion, I moved on to an interview with the CTO. Yeah, so it was more of I was actually expecting technical questions from CTO, but it didn't eventually go that way because before the interview, I read a lot about the company. I tried to know their goals, their products, and I knew it so well that when the CTO asked me about the company, I was able to tell him a lot about the company, and he was very impressed. So I think it actually moved the interview in a different direction from technical questions. It was more about their business and their goals and the vision for the company. So that was the interview with the CTO. Then the CEO was more of trying to know if I'm a culture fit, I'm a fit for their culture, like a culture fit interview. So asking about my goals, asking about if I like why I want to join them, and my experience too.
Cool. And then was that the last interview? And what happened after that?
Yeah, I got an offer. So it was after that was the offer talk.
Okay, so how did that work? Did they give like was it like we want to hire you, or like we want to have another call, and then they told you on the call? What was the moment?
Okay, they sent me an email that yes, that they made it to the next round, but we have to have a talk about the offer, what they are going to offer me, and salary and all. So that's So after that, we had that call.
How did you feel when you got that email?
I was so happy. Like I was really happy that my efforts paid off. I was really, really happy, and like I was really grateful to VanHack for giving me the opportunity to meet the company, because it's like after I talked with recruiter and I read a lot about them, I found out that it was a place I would really love to work. So when I saw the email that I've gotten like they want to give me an offer, I was really, really glad and happy.
That's so cool. Yeah. I love those moments, right? Those are. Do you remember like where you were? Like, were you at home? Were you at work? Were you driving? Like.
I was at home and I saw the offer. I don't know if I screamed, because I'm not a screaming person, but I know I was very excited. Yeah.
What did your husband say?
Yeah, he was happy too, because he has been super supportive through the whole process. So when he found out that I was like successful, we are really happy. I think we celebrated that in this little way. Yeah, so it was a really good thing.
Oh, that's so nice. Cool. So you got the offer, and then you have to like move, right? So you have to relocate from Nigeria to Sweden.
Yeah.
How was that process with the visa and everything?
I think Sweden has a very the process was quite seamless. So the company, like based on the laws of regulation of immigration for Sweden, you always have to have a job to move if you're not a non-EU citizen. So the company initiated the process. Like so the company actually matched me with an agency that did more of the processing. So they just asked me to fill in my details and send the required documents for them to send an application to the immigration service here in Sweden. So when we did that, we got our passports ready, we uploaded all the documents that were required, and so they initiated the immigration process from here in Sweden. Then 2 weeks after that, it was more or less about 2 weeks or 3 weeks, I got an email that it has been approved. So we had to go to the embassy in Nigeria to go out to take biometrics. Then within 2 weeks or 3 weeks, we got our resident permits. So it was quite seamless, quite
Nice.
simple. We didn't have to do so much to
That's
get
great.
it. Yeah.
Yeah, and just quickly, I want to take not a little break, but just to say hi for everyone. If I know some new people joined, welcome. And if anyone missed this, it's going to be on YouTube, so this will be recorded. You guys can watch this anytime. Maybe watch it, many times to take notes and learn. And yeah, it's really nice to see. I don't know, Sarah, if you see it in the chats here. Casey says, "Awesome, hard work pays off." Ovoeki, if I'm saying that wrong, I'm sorry. Says, "Let's get technical." But yeah, when you're talking about technical stuff, congrats, Sarah. Happy for her. Really cool. So yeah, and if anyone has questions as well, please ask in the chat. And we're here to talk with you, and to answer your questions. So yeah, awesome. So Sarah, how was the actual move? Like, have you ever traveled outside of your home country before? How was the getting on the plane? That must have been exciting.
I've gone out of my country, but it was just a nearby country, and I traveled by road then. So this was like a big move, and it was it's quite different moving to a totally different country. Like, I'm not going on a visit. I'm actually trying to pack everything that I really need to a different country. So it was quite tedious, but it was also good. It was a good experience. So yeah, it was tedious. Relocating is not easy. It's one of the hardest things ever humans can do, but I knew it was for something better, so we just had to do it, like go through everything. So
yeah, I really don't like packing, all my clothes and moving. Yeah, but you just have to do it once, or maybe more than once, but once every few years, or at least. Yeah, at most, I should say. Ahmad is asking, how's the weather? So when you arrived in Stockholm, is it Stockholm, right? You're in Stockholm?
Yes,
beautiful, yeah. So how was it? You arrived, I'm guessing, end of summer now, right? So it must be pretty warm and nice.
I don't know if I can say it's pretty warm because I'm not used to the cold.
Maybe not compared to Africa, yeah.
Yeah. So when I came in, when we arrived at the airport was quite warm, but when we got out of the airport, it was actually cold, and the first few nights were not funny because we were really cold, and the heater is not on because to them it's still summer. So so we had to learn to wear so many clothes to get warm. But I think though it's actually warmer now, but I think we are getting more used to the weather than when we just arrived. So it's much. But they've been telling me about the cold winter, and also I think I'm mentally getting prepared for that too.
Yeah, you have to go to H&M. You know the store? It's a little store called H&M. Have you heard of this one?
Yeah, we've gone there already.
It's from Sweden. That's why I bring it up.
Okay. Oh, I didn't know.
Yeah, H&M. They're from Sweden. It's a global company, right? They have everywhere, but. Yeah, I think in Stockholm, there's a place where there's 3 or 4 H&Ms all within you can see them.
Yeah,
it's funny. It's like Starbucks. Anyway, that's nice. How about the food, the language? Casey's asking if you're learning Swedish. How are cultural things?
I was learning Swedish before I moved, but now I've not had time to learn. I'm still trying to get used to a lot of things, but you can pretty much get by with English because most of the people here speak English. Mm-hmm. Then I've been trying. Stockholm is such an international city, so I've not really even tried Swedish food. Most times, the times I've been out with my colleagues, we've been trying food from other countries. Today, I had Vietnamese food.
Cool.
I've tried Italian, and also it's like a very international city, so you can get food from all over the world here. Yeah, but I'm still trying to eat what I'm used to because we came along with food. And yesterday I found an African shop, so I'm really excited about that. So, yeah.
Nice. That's great to have a little bit of home.
Yeah.
That's good. Cool. Chinaka is asking about the pandemic situation. You how is that?
People are pretty much free to move about. People don't wear masks. I think a lot of people are vaccinated. So everywhere is pretty much open in Sweden. Yeah.
Great. That's fantastic. And how's work? So did you start once you relocated and do you go to the office? Do you work remotely? How is that going?
Yeah, I work from the office. I go to the office and it's been great. It's been great so far. Very, very great. Yeah. They have pretty much a very beautiful office here. And everyone is super friendly and helpful. So it's been a very great experience so far.
That's fantastic. Cool. Yeah. Maybe you can post a picture in Slack there.
Yeah, I should. I'm not taking pictures yet, but I shall take pictures and post.
Yeah. It's inspiring others. I'm sure a lot of people here would love to see that. They can see themselves in one day being there or in a place like that.
Yeah.
Cool. How about your job? Like, you're working full stack developer right now. Like, right? What are you working on? What's the projects? If you can share anything about that.
Okay, I'm working as a full stack developer right now, and there are a couple of projects. Yeah, one I'm working on a new project with a company, and it's been going well so far. I was able to start contributing to code base, I think 4 days after. My first pull request was merged 4 days after I joined.
Nice.
A series of pull requests since then.
Git commit, right? Is that right?
Sorry?
Git commit?
Yeah. A pull request is a combination of different Git commits. So yeah.
Okay. Cool. You got code in production, right? That's the
Yeah.
Sweet. Paul is asking what stack? JavaScript, right? Node and React.
Yeah, Node.js, React, TypeScript, GraphQL,
sweet.
Postgres for database. Yeah.
Cool. Let's get technical. Nice. Awesome. And then keep the questions coming. Avoki asked a question here. Said, how were the data structure and algorithm questions? Did you have any questions about that?
I didn't for this, but in this job I got in the other interview I had, and I don't think I did so well there because I'm not sure. It's something I'm still trying to learn. But they gave me a take home project, so I got the chance to show my skills as much as possible. So I think that worked in favor of me. Yeah.
Cool. Awesome. All right. Well, so like, any tips that you have for other people? Like, what do you maybe wish you knew when you started your journey? Anything that those people here want to get hired as well? What would you say to them?
Okay, yeah. So I think I learned a lot from the sections before the hiring event, like the sections VanHack did with us then. And one thing I learned was that you have to prepare for an interview. It's not a matter of I have the skills and I'm good enough and the company should see that in me. You have to find a way of selling yourself to the companies. And that's one thing I learned because we had a section of having an elevator pitch. During the short time, you should, as much as possible, tell the companies that they really need to hire you. And so I really learned that from the section. And that's one thing I try to do throughout the interview process, preparing for every single interview, not giving anything to chance. So that's one thing I think it's really, really important. Try to prepare as much as possible and try to showcase your skills. Before any interview, I always had a note of possible questions that could be asked and what I'm going to answer because I'm not someone that talks spontaneously, so I had to prepare for it. So I think that really helped. Preparing very well really helps. So we need to prepare a lot for the interview. Then do the best you can do, like put in the effort because I know there are some days I didn't really sleep well when I was working on the take-home project, and even before some interviews I had to study a lot. So I was sleeping for a few hours a day, but I think the effort paid off. So if the interview is stressful, still just do your best, because at the end of the day, it's really, really worth the whole stress. And if you are going for the hiring event, just try to attend all the sections and try to read the resources, because they were really, really helpful, and try to participate as much as possible. I think everything was really, really helpful then. Then another thing that was really helpful was the mock interviews that I had with some people from VanHack. They were really, really, really helpful, because I think I remember when I was asked the question to introduce myself, I gave, based on my knowledge, I gave an answer. But after the conversation I had then with the, I don't know what to say, the person, I don't know what, I can't remember what people they're called. But after the this thing I had with him, it helped me to see that I had to put myself in a way, I'll present myself in a way that the company will see that I'm going to add value to their company, and that we show that I'm really, really interested in their company. So that's really helped me, and it helped me to structure my project, how I should present my project to the company. I think all of it, all this, it was really, really helpful. So I'm really, really grateful to VanHack for the opportunity that I have right now. The fact that I have a job offer is more or less the whole process that helped me to get it.
That's really cool to hear. So thanks, Sarah. I'm happy you're happy, and hopefully we can help more people. This is a gracious circle, right? The more people we help, the more people tell others, and we can share the knowledge. And and I think the company is happy to have you as well. So everyone's happy. Cool. So that's a lot of really good tips there. I just want to underscore, the preparation is super key. I really like your point of like having the questions written down and practicing your answers to those questions. Really looking for a job is like a job, you have to take it seriously, as if it's like a part-time job, that you're taking. So, and also like, you just need one offer, right? And that changes your life. So, put in the work, and then good things will happen. Awesome. I think someone put their hand up to maybe want to speak. Bhavna, better to just ask the questions in the chat. I think it might be a little with the technical. I'm worried it's going to be not so good. Chiamaka, sorry again for mispronouncing your name. Chiamaka is asking about COVID. How was the tests, doing the COVID tests, and also how was the code review process, or how is the code review process? I think in your current position.
Okay, I wasn't able to get vaccinated before I moved from Nigeria, but I'm trying to get that now. But we needed a negative COVID test that was taken within 48 hours of our arrival, before our arrival in Sweden. So I think that was it. Then the code review process, I think it's more or less the same. Well, it's more you push a PR, you have people to review your pull requests, and you need approvals before you can merge it. So that's pretty much it. Hope I answered the question.
Nice. Any other questions?
I think Peter asked how
system design questions.
Well, I didn't get okay. The design questions were more about the project I worked on. So I didn't really get the typical system design question that some companies asked. It was more about it was centered on the project I did.
Cool. I have a question. What, a lot of VanHackers, they come and they're interested in moving to a specific location. They want to come to, one country or one city. What were you open to multiple places, and what about Sweden attracted you, and also Europe attracted you?
I was actually joined VanHack because of Canada. I wanted to move to Canada. So like, in fact, I think it was when I talked to recruiter for anything that I actually started considering Sweden. Sweden hadn't come to my mind because I didn't really know anybody that was in Sweden. I've never had a friend that moved to Sweden. Most of the friends I know moved to Germany. So I knew about Europe, but Sweden never came to my mind. I was more about. I think the main reason why I joined VanHack was more about for to move to Canada. But then I met the recruiter and I googled Sweden, tried to find out about Sweden, and it was. I found out that it was actually a very good country to move to. They had a lot of benefits for immigrants, and it's a very. I think Stockholm is a very international city. So I think that made me to be open to more to a different country, not just Canada.
Yeah, that's great. I think it's really important to talk about this because Europe is a great continent, and there's so many great countries there that I think like if you live in Europe, it's probably or it is very easy for you to just get a quick flight to 15, 20, 30 different countries really close by. So yeah, I was lucky to live in Europe. We were expanding VanHack in 2017. I lived in Europe, in Berlin and in Lisbon and in Luxembourg, and got to travel. Got to go to Sweden. So just for everyone to know, like, be open to other places, right? Yeah. Like it's really great. Like, yeah, Canada's nice, of course. I'm Canadian. I grew up here, but I also like really am jealous of people who live in Europe because you can travel easily. There's so much culture, food, history, like we were talking before the webinar started. The Nobel Prize is awarded in Sweden, and there's like this really cool place for people to see. So yeah, I just think if anyone here is kind of like not considering Europe, I would highly recommend you consider Europe as a place to move, and it's fantastic. So yeah, we got some more questions here. How many months have you been looking for a job at VanHack before you got hired? Walter asks.
Yeah. Okay. So before the hiring event, I as I mentioned earlier, I always had a profile. I think I can't remember the year I joined VanHack, but my profile wasn't up to date. I just kept it there. So this year I started going through the whole process. I did my code English verification. I took some code challenges. Then I started applying to jobs. But I don't think I was really always applying so far because at some point I wanted to take a break. Early this year, I applied to so many companies and I got some interviews, but then I wasn't making it past the first stage and it was becoming so stressful for me. So I decided to take a break. So I wasn't actively interviewing or looking for a job until I applied to the hiring event. So yeah, I would say that the fact that I didn't get jobs then where it was more of my fault because my profile wasn't up to date as even I had to update my CV to the recommended standard, the format that was given at some point. So
cool. Yeah. So it's not necessarily how many months you're there, but how active you are, how much you're pursuing opportunities, for sure. Cool. So tax rates, do you know the tax rate in Sweden?
It's about 30%. I think about 30% or 35%.
Yeah.
A huge chunk of the salary goes to tax.
Yeah, but I'm guessing you get a lot in return, right? Like there's a lot of medical, education.
Yeah, there are a lot, especially as a parent. Like it's going to benefit my kid a lot. So it's really, really good. Even the health, I think there's a limit. Like there's a maximum amount you can pay for healthcare in Sweden. Like after that amount, the government takes over, I think in a year or so. So there are a lot of benefits, like even the transportation system. Like I just pay a fixed amount every month and I can use I get an access card I can use to travel almost to cities around or places around with the card. So I really spend little on transportation and other things. So it's really, really good. I get the returns. Yeah.
Nice. And maybe like you don't have to talk about exactly how much you're making in terms of salary, but like the salary that you got offered is enough to live. Like you have a nice apartment, you're able to buy food and save money. Like,
yeah. Stockholm is actually a very expensive city compared to the rest of Europe. So, but I think the salary is high enough to pay for rent and food, and still have a little to save. Yeah, of course, all depends on how well or how you manage your money. Because but it's quite enough for basic needs, my basic needs. Yes, it's really good. And I think of course, when you are given an offer, you always have to negotiate. Because when I was given the offer, I tried to negotiate a little to get more. So I think even when after getting the offer, someone from VanHack reached out to me to ask me to make sure that I was given a good offer. So it was really, really helpful too. So I think always try to negotiate, try to find out before what I did though, when I got the offer to before I had the offer conversation discussion with the recruiter, I tried to find out the average salaries of developers in Stockholm. That gave me an idea of what I can ask for or what it's the amount I need to like survive in Stockholm. So I think that helped me. So at least I was able to negotiate to an above average salary. Yeah. So
Cool.
yeah.
That's great. So and I'm guessing maybe like your husband in the future will work as well, because I think he has a visa, so dual income, and you'll have a nice quality of life there.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's great. Cool. So yeah, just because people I think maybe were scared about the tax rate, I just want to make sure. It might be high tax, but you get back a lot from it, like you said about education.
Yeah.
Yeah. Please.
The quality of life is much different. Like you have a better standard of living. I'm having a better standard of living right now in this country. So if I'm getting value for what I pay for, then it's nice. It's really, really good. So even if the tax might scare a lot of people, because most times when people talk about when they move their relocation, they mention that the tax rates are very high. Of course, we're not so used to paying such high tax rates in Africa, but then you get value for your money. So that's really, really good too.
Cool. Okay, well that's good. Yeah, like I lived in Brazil for 4 years, and like I can kind of how you say it? I saw what it's like when you're living in a place where you pay a lot of taxes but nothing happens for that, and then it's a little bit better in places where you do get a lot. So yeah, I can understand that, and that's great. It's countries should make their countries better. Governments should make their countries better to attract skilled people. So yeah. Sorry, Ilaria. Cool name. Is similar to Ilya. Ilaria. Do you work 40 hours a week, or how many hours a week do you work? What's the kind of work-life balance?
It's 40 hours per week. 40 hours per week, and it depends on how you want to structure it. Some of my colleagues work from home. I'm going to the office now because I'm still new. I'm trying to learn a lot. Yeah, I need my colleagues right now. So, but I think it's really flexible. So it depends on when you resume at work. You can come in earlier and leave like an hour earlier, or they even have an opportunity for mothers that have baby children in daycare. So you can leave earlier and decide to continue your work at home when you get home. So it's really flexible and it's really good, but it's still 40 hours per week.
Nice. So you mentioned something I was going to ask about. So you have a daughter. She's around 1 year old, right?
Yeah.
How is moving with a toddler, with a baby, and how is like working, being a mother? That must be a lot of things to juggle.
Yeah, it's not easy. I won't say it's easy, or it's a different experience altogether from when it was just me. I didn't have a child. But then I think over time I've gotten used to knowing how to balance everything. I go to work now, so she's mostly at home with her dad. When he gets a job, she will likely go to a daycare. So I think it was tough initially, but we are trying. She's getting older, and so there are a lot of things that she's becoming less. She still has a lot of needs, but then we are getting used to taking care of her and still combining with other things in our lives. So yeah, it's a great experience. I wouldn't trade for anything, but yet it's not as easy as it was before when I didn't have a child.
Cool. Well, yeah, it's nice that you the daycare and then kind of the balance there. That's fantastic. Cool. Okay. How to get interviews is hard step. Yeah, Michael, that's normal. Maybe we can talk to someone from our team and we can give you some feedback on your profile and help you prepare better and have a more kind of attractive profile for people for companies. Maybe a resume or something like this. Okay. Yeah. Any other questions? We have 10 minutes left here. Sarah, it's graciously given up some of her evening, right? Because now it's 7 p.m. now in Stockholm. Something like this.
Yeah, 7:20.
Cool. How did you join VanHack Premium before you got hired, or did you join VanHack Premium?
I didn't join VanHack Premium, but I think most of the materials we got during the hiring event were from the premium service, like most of the things we had. So if you have the opportunity to attend the hiring event, try to make use of all the resources that you are giving, and because they are really, really, really helpful. So
yeah, you definitely don't need to join premium to get hired. It helps, to learn and practice and have a group to study with, but it's not necessary. Most people who get hired on VanHack, like last month in August, we had, I think, 53 people get hired, and 10 of them were premium members. But usually between around 5 people or premium members get hired per month from the total. So it's most people aren't premium members and don't feel like you have to. But try it. If you don't like it, you get your money back. So it's kind of a no-lose situation there. Cool. Yeah, Johnson saying congrats. Raymond as well, congrats. Cool, awesome. Okay, well maybe we can have a few more questions. Like, is there anything else that we maybe didn't cover that you wish to share with people? How's your commute? I'm curious. Like, how long does it take you to go from your house to the job? And is it long or?
It's about 40 minutes.
40
so
minutes?
Because I do a lot of walking, like I have to train. Yeah, so I walk for. I think it's about 40 minutes. I walk for about 10 minutes to train station. Take a train super fast, then walk to my office. So it's really, really, like, I'm able to plan myself. I know when the train will arrive, and I know when I should leave the house to meet the train. But they're always trains, so if I miss one, I can always get the next one.
Nice.
So, yeah.
Great. Cool. Okay. Well, maybe room for 1 or 2 more questions, but I think we had a nice conversation, and we'll let Sarah go have some dinner or go enjoy her time with her family. Sarah, please share those pictures. Take a picture with your husband, your daughter, or somewhere cool in Sweden, with like a statue or something. Yeah. Awesome. Okay. Well, thanks so much for taking the time to share your experience with us. Congratulations again. Do you mind, actually, one more thing? Do you mind if people add you on LinkedIn? Is that okay?
Oh, that's fine. If you have any more questions, you can add me on LinkedIn, and I'll try to answer whenever I can.
I looked up your LinkedIn while we were chatting because I was curious about it, and I shared it in the chat for everyone to see. So I'll broadcast it, and people can add you. So you're going to get a few people adding you there, Sarah.
Okay.
Hopefully one day when I'm in Europe, we can meet and have some meatballs and beer or something. Next step for you is you have to become a hockey fan. So there's a lot of really good Swedish hockey players. I don't know if you've ever seen hockey, but it's a big sport in Sweden. Yeah.
I'll try.
Cool. Well, I'm sure you're busy being a mother and working and having a new life. So congratulations again. Welcome to, Sweden. But talk soon.
Yeah. Thank you very much. And thanks to VanHack for making this possible. I'm really grateful.
Yeah, our pleasure. Okay, great. Yeah. Have a fantastic evening. Nice Friday. Good weekend. Talk soon, everyone. And for everyone here, just last thing. Apply to jobs on VanHack. For everyone participating in the event in a few weeks, good luck. We'll talk more in the Slack channel there. And thanks again for everyone being part of this webinar. Bye.
Bye. Yeah.